Welcome. In this video, the event, Ashen Simulacrum, of Azur Lane will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Azur Lane. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. Newport Harbor, once a thriving hub for the Eagle Union, was now engulfed in flames, with dormitories, docks, and hangars reduced to cinders. Amid the devastation, Baltimore focused on protecting the commander by directing AA fire against the attacking enemy aircraft, while San Diego vowed to defend their position. Hornet, eager to confront the Sirens directly, proposed a counterattack, but Baltimore advised caution, emphasizing the need for more intel. Despite the warning, Hornet pressed on, promising to return safely. Not long before the attack, Hornet and Victorious had looked forward to Newport City for military conference. Victorious was thrilled to be back on familiar soil and excited to meet the legendary Enterprise. Baltimore, tasked with guiding them, had highlighted Newport Harbor's dual significance as both a naval base and renowned resort, promising the opportunity for a memorable experience. The commander wakes up disoriented, grappling with the aftermath of the Sirens' attack on Newport City. The chaos had caused them to lose consciousness, and Baltimore quickly briefed them on the situation. Newport Harbor was ablaze, and most of its facilities were destroyed. The Sirens had bypassed radar defenses, and rescue, evacuation, and triage operations were underway, but the situation was dire. Victorious noted the indiscriminate bombing and questioned how such a large force evaded their patrols. Despite concerns, Baltimore emphasized that now was not the time for questions. Hornet was searching for the Sirens' main fleet, but with overwhelming numbers, the task was daunting. Baltimore urged the commander to issue a counterattack to protect their home soil. Victorious reported that Hornet had located the Siren fleet and the flagship. Baltimore, determined to rescue Hornet, pushed the commander to act quickly. Despite their injuries, Hornet continued to fight and ensure the evacuation was progressing. Eventually, Hornet collapsed, and Victorious and Baltimore decided to handle the remaining battle while the commander stayed with her. With the Siren fleet's leadership disrupted, the enemy fell into disarray. Baltimore then ordered the fleet to move to New York Harbor to continue the evacuation. An emergency broadcast soon announced that New York Harbor was under siege by the Sirens' main force, prompting a call for immediate aid from nearby fleets as the team prepared for another critical battle. Juneau, terrified by the Sirens' attack on their own soil, found solace in Birmingham's presence. Juneau had feared the Sirens had overrun everything, but Birmingham reassured her that their defenses were holding strong. Understanding Juneau's shock, Birmingham offered comfort, acknowledging the surprise and fear caused by the assault. Juneau reported that the evacuation was nearly complete, with Dewey and Alwyn assisting in transporting the remaining people to safety. Despite her relief, Juneau wished for Atlanta's presence, believing things would have been better with her around. Birmingham shared a similar longing for Cleveland, but remained determined to handle the situation and encouraged Juneau to calm down, which helped her regain her composure. As the evacuation neared completion, Birmingham proposed moving to the front lines to drive back the Sirens. However, Birmingham's unease grew when the Sirens were easily repelled, questioning their small force's capability against the headquarters' defenses. This worry was soon validated by a massive explosion, signaling the breach and the arrival of the Sirens' elite forces, including Purifier. Birmingham quickly decided they needed to retreat to the harbor, realizing they couldn't handle the elite Sirens alone. New York Harbor, the largest naval base in the Eagle Union, serves as a crucial fortress with cutting-edge equipment and extensive facilities. Its strategic location and robust defenses make it the command center for all Atlantic operations and humanity's last bastion against the Sirens. The Long Island Defense Line, with its heavy artillery and multiple military bases, ensures that New York Harbor remains virtually impregnable, having withstood attacks when other defenses failed. With the Crimson Axis fractured and forces spread thin globally, the Eagle Union faces a significant threat, potentially tipping the balance of power and triggering a massive Siren offensive. Victorious and Baltimore, troubled by the crisis, sought guidance from the commander. Dewey and Alwyn reported that while a diversion force had allowed a retreat with the wounded, They were now trapped by the Siren fleet. Dewey's anxiety grew, but Baltimore reassured them of the commander's support. A transmission from Juno and Birmingham, who encountered Purifier, prompted the commander to act swiftly to mount a rescue. Amidst the chaos, Birmingham and Juno faced dire circumstances, with Purifier taunting them. Purifier mocked their efforts and threatened them, suggesting they plead for their lives. Despite the threat and Birmingham's urging for Juno to flee, Juno refused to abandon her friends or surrender. Their situation seemed bleak until Baltimore, Dewey, and Alwyn arrived, offering much-needed support and a chance for rescue. Baltimore rallied the group, challenging Purifier and encouraging them to fight on. In a dramatic turn, Juno, with support from her comrades, managed to deliver a decisive blow to Purifier. As Purifier's engines exploded, the immediate threat was neutralized. Although relieved by their victory, the commander was troubled by Purifier's cryptic reference to lead actors and the implications for their next move to New York Harbor. At New York Harbor, the defensive line had been breached by the Sirens, causing panic among the Eagle Union forces. Long Island, Langley, and other officers were overwhelmed by the sheer number of Sirens, including both production-type and humanoid ships. Distress calls from Newport Harbor and escalating airstrikes further complicate the situation, with the anti-air defenses struggling to keep up. Long Island is unable to contact Enterprise or the commander, raising concerns about potential communications jamming. Saratoga, trying to maintain order, assigns tasks to her team. Osborne is to handle the light fleets, while Baton checks the defensive line status. Saratoga and her team prepare to wrest air superiority from the Sirens despite limited escorts. They achieve a brief victory as Siren signals disappear from the radar, but new threats emerge. A new enemy flagship is spotted, and as the situation intensifies, Saratoga and her team brace themselves for an unknown danger, with some suspecting Enterprise's arrival. Just outside of New York Harbor, Victorious and Baltimore are engaged with the Siren commander, Tester, who boasts about the Siren's superior tactics and questions the nature of justice. Despite Baltimore's efforts to counter Tester with heavy artillery from Alabama, the situation remains dire, with the Siren's main fleet still posing a significant threat. Tester continues to taunt the defenders, emphasizing the futility of their resistance and declaring that the experiment is just beginning. Meanwhile, Victorious and Baltimore grow frustrated with the Siren's smug demeanor and cryptic messages. As Tester disappears amidst a new wave of airstrikes, it becomes apparent that the battle is far from over. As the Sirens begin to withdraw, they leave behind a scene of destruction and chaos. In the aftermath, the Eagle Union forces are left to assess the damage and prepare for the next confrontation. A mysterious figure observes the scene. In the Bermuda Triangle, Essex and her team realize they've walked into a Siren trap, with enemy forces far exceeding their expectations. Victorious and Shangri-La report that they've lost contact with Task Forces 11 and 17 and are now completely surrounded by Sirens. The situation is dire, and the defenders find themselves under heavy attack. Meanwhile, at the New York City wharf, Enterprise addresses the gathered fleet, explaining the urgency of their mission. Following the Sirens' recent siege of New York City and the disabling of port facilities, the next phase is to locate and destroy the Sirens' forward base, believed to be in the Bermuda Triangle. Enterprise outlines the area has been identified unusual electromagnetic activity similar to the Winter's Crown, and warns of the dangers of another potential large-scale attack. Victorious provides additional details about the Winter's Crown and its disruptive effects on communications and radar. She describes how the Bermuda Triangle situation differs slightly, but warns that they must be prepared for significant challenges. The goal is to prevent the formation of a singularity by destroying its core, with Enterprise, Essex, and Baltimore leading the fleets into the Triangle, while the commander will support the operation from the front line. As the mission begins, the fleet encounters numerous production-type Sirens, but no elite ones. Victorious comments on the unsettling sight of these Siren clones, contrasting them with their more dynamic real counterparts. Despite these strange feelings and voices some fleet members experience, including the commander, the team pushes forward with their mission, determined to overcome the challenges and prevent the Sirens from gaining the upper hand. Back in the Bermuda Triangle, Essex and her fleet face a daunting situation with 2 Siren fleets patrolling the area, putting them at a significant disadvantage. Despite having a decoy, Essex sees the opportunity to draw enemy forces away from other fronts, thus reducing pressure on her allies. Meanwhile, Shangri-La busily records the situation and engages in lighthearted banter with Essex, highlighting the tension with humor. Shangri-La notes the Bermuda Triangle's notorious weather and the historical challenges faced by the sailors in the area. She theorizes that the Sirens might be linked to these strange phenomena, suggesting they could be influencing human perceptions of the sea. As Essex and Shangri-La discuss the implications of the Sirens and the singularity effects, they resolve to continue with their mission, aiming to push forward and confront the Sirens directly, while planning to investigate these anomalies further once the immediate battle is over. Over with the fleets led by Enterprise, North Carolina, and Washington, they make steady progress towards their objective. The Siren forces are thinning as they advance, suggesting a potential strategic advantage. Enterprise and her team are particularly focused on uncovering the identity of the mysterious ship with riggings similar to Enterprise's. This ship, previously seen attacking New York City, might be connected to the Sirens and could pose a significant threat. The team braces for action for a potential confrontation with this mysterious Enterprise. As they approach their target, Enterprise and the others encounter a fake Hornet sent by the Sirens, a puppet designed to cause harm. Despite recognizing it as a mere imitation, Enterprise is troubled by the thought of battling something resembling her own sister. Saratoga tries to lighten the mood, and despite some unsettling feelings and mysterious voices heard by the commander, the fleets regroup and prepare to breach the singularity. With their goal in sight, Enterprise and her team are determined to confront the anomalies and uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences in the Bermuda Triangle. Over with Baltimore's fleet, including Charles Osborne, Cleveland, and Montpelier, they are engaged in a fierce battle against the Sirens. Osborne, ever enthusiastic about justice, expresses gratitude for Baltimore's earlier bravery in saving Birmingham and praises her commitment to fighting the Sirens. Despite the initial lack of combat experience in the mission, Osborne and her team are determined to contribute their best. Baltimore explains the strategic necessity of dividing the fleets due to the complexity of the situation, and the goal of preventing the formation of a singularity rather than focusing solely on defeating the Sirens. Now in the heart of the Bermuda Triangle's stormy combat zone, Enterprise and her fleet face severe weather that has impacted their scout planes. Despite the challenges, Enterprise urges the crew to continue advancing towards the storm's eye, where they hope to regain control of their aircraft. As they press forward, they detect incoming Siren forces and prepare for battle, with Enterprise and her allies determined to break through enemy defenses. The situation becomes even more complex when a mysterious figure, previously seen aiding their fleet, but also leading the Sirens during the attack on New York City, makes an appearance. This enigmatic individual is linked to the recent anomalies and now has reappeared at the heart of the singularity. The figure's cryptic dialogue with Enterprise reveals connections to Antiochus and the Key, but their true intentions remain shrouded in mystery, causing Enterprise and her team to question whether this entity is friend or foe. Enterprise demands more answers from this mysterious figure, identified as Ember, who speaks of personal motives and a deeper resentment towards humanity. The confrontation causes Enterprise to become disoriented and separated from her crew amid the chaos. Ember, revealing herself as a remnant of past conflict, prepares to challenge the fleet. Ember reveals that their attack on New York City was a strategic maneuver orchestrated by Antiochus to bring them together. The mysterious figure, part of a group called the Ashes, implies that their true purpose is shrouded in burdens beyond the fleet's comprehension. Despite their formidable strength, they decide to cease their assault, hinting at a deeper regret, a desire to avoid further conflict for now. As the battle continues, the enigmatic figure demonstrates extraordinary power by effortlessly slicing through incoming shells and energy waves, akin to Bismarck's strength. The fight intensifies, but the mysterious ships suddenly vanish, leaving behind a fading light that calms the storm and dissipates the singularity engulfing the Bermuda Triangle. The fleet is left with more questions than answers as the singularity disappears without a clear explanation, and the mysterious entities retreat without revealing their full intentions. The operation is deemed a success with the singularity and the Siren fleet defeated, but the mystery of the ships and their connection to Antiochus remains unresolved. In the aftermath of the battle, Observer acknowledges the fleet's success in eliminating all the Sirens, but expresses surprise at their determination to continue the fight. The conversation reveals a tense conflict between Observer and the unnamed entity, who's frustrated with Observer's manipulation and disregard for people involved in the experiments. The unnamed entity is determined to stop Observer's schemes, but Observer dismisses these concerns, suggesting that their actions are meaningless and the entity's quest is ultimately futile. Observer Zero intervenes, reflecting on the story of Moby Dick to draw a parallel with the current situation. Observer Zero emphasizes the inevitability of closure in any story, suggesting that their actions are driven by a quest for resolution and control over timelines. Observer Zero prepares to enhance their influence and protect their version of the future, regardless of the outcome. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Girls Frontline videos as well.